Hello and good evening to you all. So you may have noticed over the last few weeks I've not put as many videos out as before. I apologise for that. To be honest, I've been a little bit under the weather, one way and another, and so I've been using my downtime to do some reading, quite a lot of reading, and some what I've become aware of, especially over the last few weeks, is there's been a lot of talk about the child maintenance service. I watched part of a video in which Arlene Sugden, the head of the CMS, was being questioned by a select committee of Parliament in the Commons. I've heard people talking about the number of people committing suicide because of CMS debt. So I did a little bit of reading. I did some reading anyway. And going forward, what I need to stress here at this point is, first of all, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a coroner, I'm not a civil servant. And this should not be seen as an attack on any institution. This is simply a statement leading up to a question or a series of questions. So my understanding is that when somebody has died and there is a possibility that they may have taken their own life, this is the subject of a police investigation, and the determination as to whether or not that person did, sadly, take their own life rests in England and Wales with the coroner's office, with the coroner. Okay. Now we're switching to CMS. In her statement, Arlene Sugden said that when a customer, a non-resident paying parent, takes their own life, they do an internal investigation about what's happened, and she says that it's not really made public, the results of this, or it's not as transparent as it might be. So here we go. There is something called Coroner's Rule 43. Again, I have to stress this is for England and Wales. Scotland doesn't really have it in their in the Procurator Fiscal rules, but it's implied up there. So Rule 43 states that where evidence is given at an inquest that gives rise to a concern that circumstances are creating a risk of other deaths that will occur or will continue to exist in the future, and if, in the coroner's opinion, action should be taken in the future to prevent a recurrence. That's what Rule 43 is. So, when I saw that, I had a quick shifty around Rule 43. It has its roots in a car crash in 1993, that rule, where a stretch of road where a number of previous fatal accidents had happened, it seemed to have been, that stretch of road was designated as what we call an accident black spot. Because the coroner recommended, as I understand it, that stretch of road and the hazards of driving along that stretch of road had caused a number of deaths, that's what happened. So one of my questions would be, again, hypothetically, if I was on a Commons Select Committee and I had Mr. Justice Teague KC in front of me, is in the context of the CMS, the way they pursue debt and the impact on those who owe large sums of money to the child maintenance service, could this rule be applied to the coroner? And could the coroner then apply such an investigation to the CMS? Bear in mind that the CMS does have a lot of power, and they've just been given increased powers to collect unpaid debt that seem quite punitive, excessively punitive, it seems, because this is under the private members bill that came out in July. Could the coroner and the Coroner's Rule 43 be applied to the CMS. Now, I've had Arlene Sugden in her hearing back in January saying that there was not a lot of public. They don't really make their findings in these circumstances public. However, my question then to the coroner would be, what is the procedure if you find that an institution or a person is not cooperating fully with your investigation under Rule 43? What can be done? That would be those would be my questions to those individuals. And we'll see. And I would like to see what will come of it. Now, again, this is not an attack on anyone or any institution. I'm simply making a statement and asking a question. I will leave it to you, my viewers, to consider a possible answer. Thank you, and good evening.